Well, efforts to stop the drones were hampered by the fact that no anti-drone technology was installed at that particular airport. But the technology is available to detect drones, and that's certainly the case in Australia, where they can be disabled up to 5 kilometres away.
That's right. Well, it's already been used at the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast earlier this year, as well as at the Winter Olympics in South Korea and the past 3 Boston marathons. To tell us more, we're talking with Peter James from DroneShield. Peter, thanks for joining us this morning.
Okay.
So does this suggest that this situation at Gatwick could have been avoided, that the technology exists but the legal framework isn't there?
Absolutely. We shouldn't be surprised that an event such as this has occurred at Christmas Eve. For those of us in the industry, we see events such as this all the time. The Yemeni rebels attacked Abu Dhabi airport very recently. Dubai itself has come under threat. But if any of the viewers look at Tijuana in Mexico, Edinburgh in Scotland,
Venezuela,
we've only got to look at the leader.
Yep.
And had that drone pilot been more accurate, we would have had, unfortunately, the first assassination by drone. Las Vegas Airport had an event recently. So we've been waiting. We knew something like this would happen. If you're going to pick a time, Christmas, second largest airport in the UK. Unfortunately, a couple of 100,000 people leaving the airport, coming in, have been massively affected. But the technology is available.
So let's talk about that technology. So this is not so much about shooting a drone out of the sky. It's disabling its communications.
Modern warfare, modern security, Andrew, is about technology rather than kinetics, which is the word. So we've got technology, and in fact we just completed trials with the UK military in November, and it is deployed around the world, which will detect the drone out to 5 kilometres, as Kath said. And then we have jamming devices which will take that drone down, will intercept the signal between the operator and the drone and cut it up to 2 kilometres.
Can it take you back to the operator?
Yes, it can. So depending on the circumstance, using the GPS of the drone, we can actually have the
Well, it's triangulation. You can actually work out where they are.
It'll actually go back. It follows the GPS of the drone and send it back to where the perpetrator is.
Do you know exactly what happened in Gatwick? They did manage to disable the drone. Do you know what technology was used on that?
Look, I understand, and it's only just coming out now. There's a couple of angles there, I think, Andrew, that it's Israeli. It was used in the Middle East, and in fact the Middle East is where most of the learnings are coming from drone technology, because that's where the ISIS fighters have been using small drones against coalition forces, and in fact DroneShield, we've got multi-million-dollar facilities there. So but the disappointing thing is it's quite clear that that technology was not available on Gatwick itself. It would appear as if it's been in a military base. They've had to truck it in, set it up. And of course, what's happened in the meantime, 200,000 people have had their Christmases.
But presumably this isn't available at every major airport around the world. But I mean, I know you would say it should be, but I mean, how readily available is that technology? And are we seeing the airports say, well, look, we have to address this issue?
Well, I think this, if there is a silver lining from this, Andrew, you can be sure that Gatwick won't see this happen again. And airports around the world also will be looking at, we'd say that airports are probably the slowest to adopt this sort of technology, and we can understand why. They're large facilities, they're complex, they've got legislation, and they do have their own technology. But as we've said, mass crowd events such as the Commonwealth Games, ASEAN, etc., use our facilities. The military are well versed in deploying it, but airports in particular, we don't know of any airport that has its own system, but we can be pretty sure after this they will start to use it.
So as it stands at the moment, is Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide airports, are they vulnerable to a Gatwick-style attack?
I would say yes. That's a fact. And
so you're unaware of any of those airports around the country employing technology?
We are unaware of any airports around the world, Andrew, that deploy this technology. And let's put it in perspective. This is a brand new industry. It's a brand new problem. It was only 2-3 years ago that drones were in everyone's Christmas boxes and we were talking about them for good purpose. This will go down as the Christmas when finally it came home to everyone's living room, particularly if you're at Gatwick Airport, that these are real issues. So what often happens in society, we see that industries, legislation are trying to catch up with real world problems.
And it's important, I guess, for airports, given that they are a huge hub for the movement of people across the world, do catch up.
Exactly. And again, the good news is that it would appear as if no one's been injured. No one certainly has been killed, but it could have been.
All right, fascinating things to think about. Peter James, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you,
and Merry
Catherine.
Christmas.
Andrew, Merry Christmas to you.